Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Life School Masterclass show. This is our weekly show where we talk about life and business and scaling yourself to the next level with building a mission driven empire so that you can make the impact that you feel called to serve in the world. I am your host, Ilona Lapari, business marketing and sales strategist. And today I have the honor to have another amazing guest on. Barbie Liss, and we will be talking about claiming your years and youth. Barbie, thank you so much for coming on our show today, all the way from Toronto.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
It's absolute pleasure. Let's start with an introduction. Can you tell us a little bit more about you and what you do?
Yes, thank you. Like you said, I'm Barbie Liss. I am the anti-aging coach. So I work with women to claim the power of our years, and like the term anti refers to going against something, and aging is not something I think we should be going against. So I'm the anti-aging coach. I'm walking women to claim the power of their years and step into that role so that we can lead by example to all the women that walk behind us.
Mm. Well, I love what you do and how important that is, especially, as we're getting older. I feel like age is just a number. It's really about the life experience and how you've lived your years. So, sorry. So I love the topic today. So tell me a little bit more about how did you get into doing what you're doing now?
Yeah. So my journey began where I landed is through my own healing journey that began a few years back when my youngest daughter was raped, and that journey took me on a journey of secondary trauma. Um, in there's the obvious part, but in my own story of healing through secondary trauma, I began to feel very deeply into societal conditioning and how we became a society where this kind of thing even happens. And I started learning more about societal conditioning, and I became a life coach and an energy healer, and I did a lot of work on generational wound healing, which I offer in my private coaching. And I did a lot of really looking at societal conditioning and the impacts of messages that we've received without really questioning. And I turned 60 this past summer. So I think the year prior to my turning 60, I became really aware of conditioned messaging around aging. And everywhere I turned, it was about anti aging. And I thought, like, why are we going against something that's not only inevitable, but a privilege to experience? And I started seeing the impact of those messages in my own generation. And then through my work, I was seeing the impact on the younger generations because it was younger women that were reaching out to work with me because at 30 and 40, they're already afraid of being old and it's like all downhill. And I thought, wow, we have so many messages in our society to undo and to relearn and to give a new perspective and mindset to.
Mm. Well, I love everything you said. And what struck me is the fact that it's so true that, it's a privilege to grow older and to have life experience and to really get to know more about yourself and your potential and the value and the contribution you have towards others. So it's really the way that shifting our mindset and perspective about it, and especially our youth, it's so important because now we have social media, we have so much more messaging that is so conflicting, and everyone is looking at the superficial or the outside appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really goes on inside and really developing our character and our inner values is really the most important thing, and that comes with wisdom and life experience. So yeah, that's absolutely beautiful, and
Yeah.
I love your story as well. Tell us a
Thank
little bit
you.
more about how is it that you help your clients, with really claiming their years and rather than going against it? And give us
Mm-hmm.
a few maybe tips or tricks or things that you do with your clients that you could
Yeah.
share.
Yeah, thank you. I do a lot of bringing awareness to the messaging that we've received. I do a lot of like generational wound healing, like healing the mother wound kind of thing, and like healing from the messages we've received through life story. So kind of healing from life story and then spending some time in what I call like the space between from where we were to where we're going. and to like feel into it and to reframe mindset and to learn to question some of those messages that we've never questioned and to ask like, why is there something wrong with aging? What's wrong with having a wrinkle or a gray hair? Like, why is that not a good thing? These are messages we've been handed from an industry that makes billions of dollars a year, making us feel less than if we have a wrinkle or a gray hair, right? And I'll say to people like, "What's wrong with a wrinkle?" And they'll say, "Well, it makes you look old." I go, "Well, what's wrong with looking older? Like, why is that no longer beautiful?" Truly, there's so much beauty in the face of a woman who's got a life story to share, and on our faces, and so just teaching people to question and to reframe and to think about things that we hadn't thought about before, and to understand what really matters. Is it really, are you devalued because you have wrinkles? I think no, you're of more value, and the beauty that is really something that radiates from within you. It's not a societal definition of conditioned what beauty's supposed to look like. I think there's absolute beauty that radiates out of the face that's lived a life, that has, laughed and cried and had sorrow and joy and all of it written on a face that is of value to all those that walk behind us. We have something to share, and there's so much beauty in that. And I think we have to, as a collective, reconsider and redefine a lot of the messages that we've received and
Mm-hmm.
the impact. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the more of us come together and really, share the messages, we'll try to break out of and challenge the traditional messages that are out there for sure in many, many different channels, many different ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. And I want to ask you about your entrepreneurship journey. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that watch our show. How's the journey been so far? Any maybe major challenge that you had to overcome? Anything that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. So I do offer one-on-one coaching, and I have a few group programs that go on, and I'm launching in the new year an anti-aging sisterhood of women that are coming together empowered to change all these messages. I think my biggest challenge, and I'll put this to years, but I own it and claim it with pride, has been the tech end of it. I've been in business for 1,000 years in many different ways, but not in a computer. So for me, the challenge has been learning how to apply my experience and wisdom into a virtual world. So
Mm,
that's been I spent the past year learning a lot about technology and how to use my computer. But as far as offering goes, I offer through Zoom and creating spaces. I used to offer, I hope to again, I offer women's retreats, which obviously I haven't done during the pandemic and hope to again, but bringing that feel of retreat space into a virtual environment has been much more beautiful than I thought it would be able to be. So really the challenge for me has been tech and just learning how to get myself out there virtually. But yeah, it is a beautiful path, and I'm glad that I'm on it, and I love the entrepreneur life, that I can create a life doing what feels so purposeful to me with so much passion and love, and in my terms and in my way. So it gives me opportunity to create my perfect life. Right.
mm. Oh yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. The way you have been able to pivot, online and really learning a whole new set of skills, I feel like, right? The online marketing, your presence, content, a lot of those different things that really
Mhm.
help utilize and position you and really reach your ideal audience, the people that will really get the most impact from your work. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worth it. And I know that it feels like so many tools and so many things out there, so it
Yeah.
can be very overwhelming. Um,
Can be.
yeah. But definitely one step at a time, and really, going, around it with a good strategy definitely helps with that as well.
Hmm.
Well, Barbie, thank you so much for everything that you've shared with us so far. We have reached the end of our interview, and I wanted to ask you, is there any final message or advice that you would like to leave our audience with? And what is that mission that you feel most called to serve?
Yeah, thank you. I would say to follow what feels true to your own heart, to never be afraid to be exactly who you are, to allow yourself and give yourself permission to embrace getting older and see it in all the beauty that comes with it. So let's take away the fear that gives us. And if you can follow me on Instagram, it's at underscore Barbie Liz, where I share a lot of messaging about all of these things that I'm so passionate about. But my mission is to change the message of anti-aging out there and to bring it to a place of like celebration and acceptance, and to redefine what beauty is, and to show women and the world that that image that pops into your head when you think of getting old is not true. It's not true. We still have, I'm 60. I have so much still that I'm going to do and so many years to do it in. It's not over. You're not too old. It's not over. Keep going.
Yeah, it's absolutely just the beginning, and absolutely beautiful message. I wish you great success and luck on the impact of your mission and the
Thank
work that
you.
you've chosen to really do in the world. And it was an absolute pleasure to meet you today. Thank you so much for your time and all the wisdom and everything that you shared with us. And thanks for your time. Thank you for being on our
Thank you
show.
so much. Thank you so much. It's been great talking with you.
Absolutely. And I will also close out, and I will see you guys next week with a new guest and a new show. Have a great weekend, everyone.